Today's Cosplay Con Talk episode is sponsored by Moco Queen Color Contacts. Don't forget to use my code Wayne for 10% off at checkout at mocoqueen.com. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. We are once again back for another episode of Get to Know That Cosplayer, and for those who are familiar with, basically I have cosplayers out come on, and we talk about everything from the cosplays they've done, the conventions they've gone to, the how they got into cosplay, and everything like that, and have them share some of their fun experiences. So to begin, Kai, welcome by the way. Um,
Thank you.
for those who are probably familiar with Kai, you may have seen them when I've had them on for convention showcases, whether it's showing off their cosplays or interviewing them, and they're best known for Jinx from Arcane, Blitzo from Hell of Boss, and recently Alistair from Has Been Hotel. Sorry about that, everyone. We have some technical difficulties here. But as I was saying, you may recognize Kai from my convention showcase videos, and you also may recognize them as Jinx from Arcane, Blitzo from Hell of a Boss, and most recently, Alistair from Has Been Hotel.
Mhm.
Really well, again, both really well done makeups. I know both took a really long time.
Thank you so much.
So to begin, Kai, how long have you been cosplaying for, and what got you into cosplay?
As for how long I've been cosplaying, Jinx was actually my first cosplay back, when Arcane came out. So about 2021 is when I actually started cosplaying. And what got me into cosplaying, I've always made fursuits and costumes. I've always just loved Halloween and dressing up, and then learning about cosplaying just made me go, oh my gosh, I can do it whenever I want. It doesn't have to be a yearly thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to be a nerd all the time. And that was the inspiration.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what made you want to choose Jinx as your first official cosplay?
My main fixation at the time was Arcane. And out of all of the characters, even though she's not my favorite, but she's still awesome. Her outfit just looked like a ton of fun to make. I loved all the crazy crap she had going on.
Oh,
All the
so you made that then? You made her outfit.
Yeah, I did, yeah. She was my first, yeah.
Nice.
But
Um, nice. So you said she was your first?
she was my first cosplay, yes.
Nice. Um, so you started officially in 2021.
Mhm.
What was your very first convention?
My first convention was Annie Metford 2017, I believe.
I think it started in 2018.
Did it?
Yeah, Enema first started in 2018, and then
Then it was
no,
2018.
no, it started in 2019. My bad.
What am I? It was one of the small local cons. It was when
Uh,
it was taking place at the Ramada Inn.
oh, you're probably thinking of
Was it
Metal Arc, which
Metal
yeah,
Arc?
Metal Arc started in 2018, and then Anna Medford, I believe, started in 2019.
Okay, I believe it was Metal Arc 2018 then.
Okay, nice. What was that like going to your first con all those years ago?
It was very overwhelming, but in a really good way, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I had so many expectations and they were all met and beyond what I imagined. It was so cool. So everybody was so nice there and everybody was just the same nerd I was.
Did you cosplay back then, or did you wait to cosplay?
So at the time, it was my very first suit that I had made.
Oh, was it the one with like the skull over it?
No,
Or
I don't believe you have seen it. I don't have him anymore, but he was a very, very, very old tiger, is what he was.
oh, I've seen that one. I remember seeing
Have
that at
you?
I think I've seen a tiger first. I see the first tiger fursuit at one of the earlier Metal Arc Comic Cons back then.
It was probably me then.
Probably,
But
and we will be talking more about your fursuits too, because I really want to go more into that as well.
awesome.
But yeah, so 2018 first con, we're in a fursuit. What was it like?
It was my first time actually wearing like we were saying a suit to a con, so it was very I didn't know what to expect, but it was very warm, very very overwhelming when it came to the heat and everything. But over time I learned very quickly how to get used to it, and now it's one of my favorite things ever to do. I love going to cons and seeing everybody. It's so much fun.
It seems like you've enjoyed it though.
I do. I enjoy it so much.
Now, aside of local cons here in Southern Oregon, have you gone any cons outside of Oregon, outside of Southern Oregon or out of state?
I've been to one con out of state, and it was BLFC, which is Biggest Little Fur Con. It is a furry convention in Reno, Nevada,
Ooh,
and I have been there twice. I went there in 2021, and this October, um, I was there again. So very recent.
so what is that like? I'm always one for hearing about first fur conventions.
It was, oh my gosh, I think this was genuinely the most fun trip I've ever had in my entire life. I went with a group of my friends, and I brought some of my suits. It's a 4-day convention, and
Nice.
the first day was very stressful. We went there, and even though we had previously bought the hotel room, they decided to say that we couldn't have the hotel room because we had too many people, even though we verified in the past. So we were kind of stranded for a bit, but we we ended up figuring that out. But after getting in and registering, it was so fun. There's raves, there's so many panels, there's dance competitions, there was a Scully meet and greet, there was all sorts of stuff. It was so much fun.
Nice. Well, if you ever get the chance to go back to Reno, for those who are listening, I highly recommend checking out because you're familiar with the cons that are around here, Mantelark and Medford, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you get the chance, I highly recommend checking out because they have a convention in Reno called Silver Age Comic Con.
Really? Okay.
So I highly recommend checking that out. For anyone also listening, highly recommend checking out those cons too. Um, but it sounded like you had fun at the Reno one too, and everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely the
Nice.
most fun trip I think I've ever had in my life.
And I noticed anytime you go to a con, you're either with your friends or with your mom and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, this time it was with just a handful of my friends. My parents stood back this time, but
So I guess to begin talking about conventions, so when you're going to your first convention, whether it's big or small, I kind of categorize them between Disneyland being small to medium cons and Disney World being big conventions like Dragon Con, Anime Expo, Con, ECC, Fan Expo. When going to your first convention, what kind of advice would you want to give to someone who wants to like try going to conventions, whether it's in their town or out of state or wherever?
prepare. Get
No, I mean,
prepare. You gotta bring snacks, bring water, lots of water, hydrate, please, for the love of God, hydrate. Uh,
energy drinks do not count as a
no,
source of
water.
liquid because you'll be tired and not feeling great the next day.
Yes, please, please drink water, I beg of you. You will need it. And you will feel sluggish no matter what. You need food. Eating sweets does not count. You
Mm-mm.
need food and water in your system when you go to a convention. Please rest. If you need to take pictures, that's fine, but please feel free to turn people down if you need to rest. It's not that serious. Just please rest.
No, I completely agree on that. Um, so another question I ask when it comes to cons because I always forget it. Traveling. what's some advice when it goes to traveling? Because I know you're in the Oregon area, but like when it comes to traveling out of state for a con and your experience, what's some advice you would want to give to those who want to travel out of state for a con, whether they don't want to go to the ones in their state and they just like they want to see, or they're done, they've like experienced the cons in their state, but they want to try traveling to a different con. What advice would you want to give when it comes to traveling for a con out of state?
I feel like something really good that I tend to do whenever I travel is checklists. You want to do checklists for everything you're packing, everything you plan to do, everything you need to do, whether that be you need to pack for normal hygiene products, toothbrush, just deodorant, stuff like that. Make sure you write down all of the stuff for your cosplay that you're going to bring if you're cosplaying. Um, Bring all the food that you need to bring. Make sure you have all your money situated and everything like that, because money is a big problem. I've been
Mm,
out of state and my card got locked before.
oh,
That was awful. So bring some cash on you as well in case something like that happens. Technical stuff with your card is a nightmare. So
hmm.
you want to make sure that you're prepared when it comes to money as well, especially if you're out of state.
Oh
Get
yeah, no, I highly agree and on that. Now, how did you and your friends go about traveling all the way from Oregon to a place like Reno for a con?
we drove. We didn't really have the money to fly, and we all pretty much we like car road trips. Sorry,
Oh
English.
no, I'm a big advocate for road trips if you ever
Mhm.
give them the chance, especially for cons.
Mhm. And we took 2 cars because we had 9 people with us. So
Oh, basically you were like a convoy in a sense,
yeah, yeah.
caravan type thing. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. We just drove there. We took only a few stops just whenever we needed some extra
Food, go to the
water or food or
bathroom.
bathroom. Yeah.
No, because I'm a big advocate of like if you get the chance to stop at a gas station, whether it's for gas or food or the bathroom, take it because
Use
someone who's driven through, you know, California, Nevada, up all the way back home to Oregon, like there's like you gotta stop when you can.
Yes, absolutely. That's like a one-way road. If you find one, you gotta stop.
Oh no, I wholeheartedly agree on that. Let's see another question. We kind of talked about it, but yeah, no. Personal hygiene when going to a convention is desperately needed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something we don't talk about here, but as a friend of mine says, wash your ass because I don't think, I mean, if I know sometimes people can't help it because no matter how many times they bathe, there's just sometimes where it just doesn't always work. But like, if if you can manage it, please deodorant shower. I don't think people want to go to a con and next thing you know they're smelling just wretched bo.
Mhm. Mhm. It's yeah. So that's a really big problem with fursuiters. I feel like it's a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I
Um.
mean, because you're sweating, and
Oh
if
yeah.
you're lucky, if you can have like a fan inside there, or I've seen people
Mhm.
stick those. If you can open your mouth, I've seen people stick those neck fans in their mouth.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to manage when it comes to a fursuit unless, like you said, you have a built-in fan or a cooling vest or something like that. Mainly with full suiters. Um,
And you've done both, where you just wear the mask and the gloves, and then you just don the full-on suit too.
yeah, yes, I have done both, but a random little tip that I figured out is pads or panty liners. You can put them in like the armpits of inside of your suit, and it'll
I've heard of that. The maxi pads and the I've heard of that. It keeps you from like sweating.
yeah, and it works wonders. Of course, you still want to wear your Under Armour and stuff like that,
Oh
but
yeah,
it it helps with odor and just that gross feeling underneath. It helps so much. I do
nice.
recommend that.
Oh no, I'm whole on for that, and I'm sure you're also a big advocate on trying to save money when traveling for cons. Because let's face it, hotel's not going to be cheap, and food. is not going to be cheap either. Whether you do it whether you go to a con at the con or you go to a restaurant near a hotel or the con itself.
Hmm. It's money. Money. Money is.
Just be sure you save from your job, or you're saving from your art commissions or whatever, because it's not easy trying to go like state like local wise. It's easier because you're not having to travel far pending. But like if you're traveling out of town or out of state, save your money. Save
Mhm,
that PTO if your job gives you PTO, because
mhm.
you're gonna need it.
Yes. Another big thing with money is do not waste all of your money in the dealer's den. I know you want to. I know the artist alley is awesome. I've been there. I've spent all my money so many times. But please, please
It's
save
like those it's
money
like
for.
those.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, please save your money for your rent or your food. Do not waste it all
Set a
on
budget,
rent.
basically.
Not wasting, but please be responsible with your money. That's
No,
coming
I
from
agree.
me.
It's like those TikToks you see of people going to con. Like, how much money are you gonna spend at a con? $20. You next thing you know that you see like prints and keychains, and then they say like spend like $200 or something. Like, I no, I agree. Set a budget, because you don't want to go to the con the first day, and the next thing you
Mhm.
know, you go to the second day. It's like, oh well, fuck, I have no money.
Damn.
It's not easy, but I feel like setting a budget is probably helpful.
Yeah, definitely setting a budget I feel like is easier than just telling yourself, "Hey, don't spend that much money." Um,
No.
and you could always turn it into like a little like game or something. You can be like,
Ooh,
"Hey, if I like spend what I'm supposed to spend and not go over that budget, maybe I'll treat myself to a nice dinner or something."
that that's a really good. I mean, honestly, that's a really good idea.
Just bribe yourself.
Like, hey, we could buy this $200 figure of Jinx, or we can not do that and get food. One will, I mean, yes, they're both satisfying, but one will actually, like, not will be satisfying, but not regrettable.
It's so funny you said that at BLFC. My friend bought a $250 Luna from Haluva Boss statue. I'm talking to you, Caden, if you're watching this.
I
Download.
hope it was worth this. Kidding. No, we don't bash people here. We just silently judge.
We
I
just
mean,
silent judge.
I'm just not gonna show all the stuff I have in my corner over
So
here.
real. You're so real for that. Ignore all the prints in the background from last con.
Seriously, ignore all the pranks. So if you can remember, how many cons have you gone to?
And by how many cons do you mean just how many specific I've attended or like how many I've like I don't know how to word it.
Like
I've been
the cons you like cons you've attended. How many cons have you attended?
so I've been to Annie Metford, Metal Arc, BLFC, um
Then you also, I remember seeing you at Rogue Comic Con earlier
and
this year in May, or Rain Con as I call it.
Rain. That's
That's
correct.
not a jab. It's just it was rainy, and
No, it was
even if it was indoors, I still would have called it Rain Con.
no, it was no offense to like the organizers or anything. They had no idea, but like oh my gosh, it was awful.
No, I mean, like we're not bashing Rogue Comic Con. I'm
No,
glad that they're back. I'm glad that they held a great event.
mhm.
It's just it's Oregon. You can't help when it's raining.
The rain, you can't escape it.
No, 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 you cannot.
But yes, I've been to all of those cons, and I tend to go to those every year, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, they're
Uh,
local, so
yeah, they're the only ones I can really go to since ones out of state are expensive and It's hard to find the time to go on the road
Oh
trip.
yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. I mean, whether you're busy with you know school, work, other stuff,
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's not easy. Um, and so another question. Um, What's a con you always wanted to go to, but just it has not been in the budget yet lately? Whether it's in state, out of state, or across the country in a different country.
This is my younger, like middle school self talking, but Anthrocon. It
What's
is
that?
it is the biggest furry convention. And it is in, at least in America. Um it's in Pittsburgh.
Ooh, and what's it called?
Anthrocon.
Anthrocon. I'll have to look that up later because I don't have my computer on right now, and that's just
Yeah.
gonna take too long to. Mine talk a little bit about Anthrocons, for especially those who aren't familiar with it, such some as
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, so Anthrocon is just a really big furry convention. It's mainly my main reason for wanting to go there was because since I was young, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's the biggest one. Therefore, it's got to be the best one, right?" But even though that's not necessarily true at all. Um but it's very similar from what I've seen to BLFC. I have a friend that lives in Pittsburgh and they tend to go to Anthrocon every year, and it's huge. I think there's some odd like 13,000 attendees or something. It's ginormous.
That's pretty big.
Um which that sounds overwhelming, but I know a whole bunch of like my friends and everybody would go there. There's tons of panels just like BLFC. It's just full of a bunch of fursuiters and just all a bunch of furry shenanigans.
That sounds fun. Um, so before we talk about cosplay stuff, what
Yeah.
are some cons you plan on going to in the next in the for 2025? What are some of your con plans?
Just the local cons, honestly. Wait, did you say cons or cosplays?
Conventions.
Conventions. Okay, my bad. So yeah, just the local cons. Because I tend to go to those every year, just because they're local.
And not to mention Rogue Comic Con is free.
Yes, yes. Oh, Rogue Comic Con was my favorite con before I had ever gone to BLFC. It was so much fun. Um, back in it was the first time I went there. I don't remember what year it was. 2018, I believe, when it was held at the library.
Oh yeah, I remember when it was still when it was Medford Comic Con.
Yep, it was Medford Comic Con. It was it was so much fun because it was just that one was about double the size, I want to say ish,
I
as the
mean,
normal.
you had like it was like two floors and then
Yeah.
stuff outside and the food vendors and
Mm.
everything. Like nice.
But yeah,
And then of
just the
course you
ones, and if anything comes up, then I'll go if I can.
and then and what so also for someone who's attended Metal Art Comic Con at the Ramada and when they had it at the Josephine County Fairgrounds, what did you think of Anna Medford and Metal Arc this year at Rogue X? They're probably their biggest space so far.
I really do like where they ended up with it. I've liked all of the places that they've had it set up. The Ramada was probably my least favorite just because of how crowded it was,
Oh, I
honestly.
mean, also they were first starting out too, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to start somewhere and work your work your way up. I mean,
Oh yeah, for sure.
if this town
For
ever
sure.
gets a full blown convention center, I'm sure they'll move to that one next.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, I really do like where they're keeping it at the Rogue X right now. And it's so funny just like walking down the center when you walk in and then all of the people swimming to the right having no idea what's going on, seeing everybody in cosplay just like what's going on.
Oh yeah, no. But I can tell from what I've seen at Anna Medford and Motorluck this year, you and your friends and your mom had a good time.
For sure, yes, that was my mom's first cosplay. She had a blast, but she ended up, she got pretty tired and she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go home and take a nap.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't blame
that's
you.
understandable. That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
um, now onto now onto cosplay stuff. Um, advice and tips for someone who wants to get into cosplay and they've done their research, but like they're still unsure because there are those people who look up cosplay and like top and cosplay. Next thing you know, you'll still people like Yaya Han, Jessica Nigri, Kamoya cosplay, Mole cosplay, and like all these big known cosplayers show up, and people are like, "That's cosplay? I don't know if I want to do it now."
Cosplay is for everyone. Cosplay's for everyone. Do what you want to do. Just have fun with it. Be respectful, and that's all there is to it. Really, just have fun. Be respectful. Make friends. Dress up. It's like I said. This isn't even like my preferred character. I'm just dressing up as her because I think her clothes look cool. Like
Well, no, I mean Jinx's outfits. I mean, I prefer her arcane look compared to her League of Legends look, but that's just me being biased. That and because I've never played League of Legends or never will, but I digress. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, no, cosplay is for everyone. Another question that pertains to cosplay. Um, so when it comes to someone who they like, okay, I want to get into cosplay, but I don't know, like, should I commission? Should I thrift? Should I do this? Like, what advice would you want to give to someone who wants to like, when it comes to getting their first cosplay, and especially if someone's on a budget, what would you recommend?
I'm a little biased because I love making everything, but I feel like thrifting is the best way to go. Either way, because um, thrifting is definitely a lot cheaper than just buying the costume if you want to buy it. Plus, if you also thrift it, you could alter it and just do what you want to do to it to make it more perfect to your liking. Um, but I started out thrifting. I thrifted the shoes that I ended up altering.
Oh, you made the okay.
Yeah, I'm in her full costume right now, but you can't
Oh,
really see.
nice.
But um, just altering stuff, I think, is a blast, and it's a great way to start if you want to start making your stuff from hand. It gives you an idea of what you're doing. It's like using guidelines while you're drawing. It gives you a beginning. This was an old Nerf gun.
Oh yeah, I recognize that style
Yep,
anywhere.
yep, the old Fortnite
Nerf, nice,
Fortnite Nerf gun that I just painted to look like hers. Yeah, it's a
nice.
great way to start, and
Do
I
you have
really
like her?
love it.
Do you have her grenades, or is that something you plan on working on?
I plan on making it. So this is actually like I said, this is her season 1.
Oh yeah.
Um and I plan on remaking it all pretty much entirely because of season 2, and I'm gonna make Fishbones, her
Her
shark.
giant freaking rocket. I was about to say you're
Mhm.
gonna make her giant like shark rocket launcher thing.
Yep, I plan on making that, some of her
Oh man,
grenades.
that's gonna be some weight for sure. Especially like if you ever do have Blitzo's rocket.
Yeah.
If you know, yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll
If
show
you
a
know, you
picture of
know.
it too. But like, I mean, I'm sure if you when you do Blitzo again, you want to make his rocket.
I do think that would be a lot of fun, yes.
Now also for stuff pertaining to cosplay, because I also know you do body paint. Advice for someone who wants to do body paint, and there are people who out there who may not know that they're allergic to body paint, and just in general, some advice for people who want to get into body paint, whether it's just their face, their arms, or full on. Because I know some people will go all out and not do the skin tight suit for
Mhm.
body paint.
So, I think if you're worried you might be allergic, don't just go all out first. Test it on your
Oh yeah,
arm.
the
Yes.
use your arm as a palette, basically.
Yes. Yes, I that's the best advice for that I have is just test it on your arm. See if you're allergic. If you're good, you're good. If you don't, please don't use it. Um, like you said, the morph suits and bodysuits are your best friend when it comes to that. For my Blitz, his arms are red. And I don't paint my arms because one, the body paint would smear onto everything, and it's just kind of unnecessary in my opinion. So I have those on underneath. If you want it to have a more painted look to it, paint on top of the clothes, then it'll match your face better.
I know We Love Color website. We Love Colors came out with full body suits from head to toe. Even like like got like the full body suit, and even like there's body suits that even like that separate your toes in case you wanted to cosplay a fancy version of Karlach from Baldur's Gate 3 or
Yeah,
whatever. which I think is pretty clever. And I've never used We Love Colors, but I know it's a cosplayer's best friend, especially if they don't want to fully paint their body and just like
For sure.
they're here and here.
For sure. Also, setting spray is very important with makeup, specifically with body paint. With so I will typically use setting spray for normal makeup, but for body paint, use setting powder because most body paints are water activated, and because of that, when you spray it, it's gonna run.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, I've heard that
Sweating at
already.
cons, everything, it's gonna get messy. You're gonna touch your face by accident. It's gonna smear. It's gonna happen. So setting powder.
Well, it explains why Alistair and Blitzto's makeup for you were able to stay on throughout the entire con because you also entered the cosplay contest.
Mhm. Yeah. No, yeah, they stayed on pretty well. When I first did her, there's actually I don't have her tattoos, obviously, as you can tell.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that you had like her cloud tattoos at
Mhm.
Middlemark in 2022.
There's still I don't know if you can see there's still slight stains
Oh
from
yeah.
body paint and stuff because I failed to use setting powder
So
on
like
it.
basic makeup setting spray because it's not like as heavy and it's
Mhm.
more light than anything, but setting powder would be like for heavier makeup like full and face paint or whatever.
Yeah, mainly because water activated the spray will make it run. So
Duly noted. Another question now when it comes to cosplayers. Advice for a cosplayer going to their first convention compared to a non-cosplayer going to their first convention. What advice would you want to give for that?
um non-cosplayer and cosplayers both like we were talking about earlier, just be prepared, bring food, bring water for your basic hygiene, do that. If you're a cosplayer and if you have like part of your cosplay obstructs your vision or your movement, have a handler. That's very important. You don't want to run into somebody's booth and knock over all their stuff.
Oh yeah.
You want
Well,
to
go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. I was just finishing up what I was saying.
Okay. Now I guess since you do fursuits, advice for someone because I don't think I've asked this question. If I have, it's been a minute. Advice for someone who wants to get into fursuits for conventions, or just want to get into fursuits for cosplaying, whether it's just the tail, the gloves, and the headpiece, or just the full on fursuit. Because from what I've seen, the fursuits I've seen are phenomenal. I'm just like, yeah, I would bird in one of those.
Yes. Uh, if cooling vests are very nice. I do need to get one. But basically, it's just a vest that wraps around you and it holds really thin ice packs.
Oh, I've seen those. I've even seen people have like a heat belt too.
Yeah, yeah, they look really nice. I have a friend that has one, and they just like talk about how much of a godsend it is. I'm like, oh
Especially if you're going to a con that has cold ass freaking weather.
oh yeah, oh
Looking at you, Kamori Con. Ugh.
yes. Um, those mouth fans, I have one of those too. Very, very helpful.
Oh, what?
The little neck fans. The fans you're talking about that you have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a fursuiter at Stack Anime.
Mhm.
They were like having to shove one in their mouth and
Yeah.
everything.
No, their air and like cooling is so important in fursuits. It gets so hot in those. It's it's crazy. You just take breaks, please. That's my main thing when it comes to like actually suiting. Just take breaks.
No, I mean that's advice. I think one of the things I like about fursuits because there's some really cool ones I've seen at Sac Anime. I can't remember what they were, but their nose squeaked. Like they would
Oh.
have people squeak their nose, or I even seen ones with like the squeaky paws.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I know when it comes to fursuiters, especially when it comes to little kids. I know there are times where little kids are drawn because they look at it as a giant stuffed animal.
Oh
Have you
yeah.
ever been like been bombarded with kids wanting to grab your tail or your ears or whatever on your fursuit?
Oh yeah. It's definitely happened a lot. um Most of the time it doesn't bother me as so long as they're not like actually like pulling on your stuff and like damaging your stuff, but usually I'm super happy to like please the kids, and all the time they always just like you said, they just use a giant stuffed animal.
Someone who has a 5-year-old niece, she like just is in awe when she sees someone in a fursuit.
It makes me so happy seeing how happy they get. Um Kaiju, my main suit with the skull face that you've
Yeah,
seen.
I've seen that on your Instagram, especially when you like were bumming around Walmart with your friends.
Yes. um it's surprisingly enough, for some reason, kids seem to be drawn to that one more than my like cute and cuddly suits. And it's really funny to me. But whatever they prefer, I prefer creepy stuff too. So whatever they prefer.
Now, what type of fur do you use? Like, is there a specific type of fur you use for fursuits, or it just depend on the type of the suit you're making? Because I know there's like the foam layer, and then there's all the bits to make the mouth move, or the eyes move, or the ear or tails move. Because from what I've seen, it looks like a very intricate process when it comes to fursuits, especially the ones that are like the high tech type ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. So for fur, it like you said, it does depend on the fursuit for different kinds. The main kind that I use is luxury shag, and that's just the fancy word for it's just thick and long fur.
Oh, shag carpeting type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
Usually it's made out of plastic fibers, much like a wig for cosplay.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I usually use that, and then there's some thing also really common is it's called minky. It's a type of fleece, and it's just a really really soft fleece. That a lot. Sorry, I keep looking up here because my I have some of my suits up there.
Do you have like a mask you can show if you're able to?
Yeah, I have a couple I can grab.
Oh yeah, just yeah, show if you're able to show one so the people at home
Yeah.
um can see whether on TVs or phones or laptops or whatever device they're using.
Ugh. This is Ethan.
Oh, is that a reindeer?
He is a reindeer, yes.
Oh, that will come in. That will be nice for for December.
Yes.
Oh, that is. Oh, the mouth moves and everything. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
little tongue in there.
Oh, you got a little.
Little
So
nose.
I asked someone this once. What's the rigging like inside? Because I know like you have to keep your head in place, and then there's like the mechanism for the jaw to the mouth to open and close.
Did you say the vision?
No, no, the rigging. What's like the rigging inside it like to keep your head and to keep the mask in place, and then like
Oh,
what do you use for the jaw to move?
so for moving jaws, so this one doesn't actually have a moving jaw, it's just the way the foam bends. But
Oh, nice.
um I don't know if you can see in
Yeah,
there.
I can kind of yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just so whenever you make one, I use a method called bucket head method. And what you do is you grab your foam, usually 1 inch upholstery foam. You wrap it around your face and then glue it on the edge, and then you cut up little triangles on the top to bend it. So basically you have like an orb on your head, if that makes sense.
No, no, it does. It makes perfect sense.
Mhm. And then you just cut out your eye holes, your mouth hole, and then you build off of that, and so it sits on your head pretty nice because since it's built off of your head. And
Nice.
as for moving jaws, there's multiple ways to do it. What I use is springs. I do have a suit right here that has springs.
Okay.
So, so this one is a work in progress.
Ooh, it's like very like wolf type.
Yes. So
Oh man, that lip's creepy, but I'm sure once you get the fur and everything on, it'll look. Oh,
Yeah.
that looks so cool, though.
Yeah, he has a. Actually,
Hello.
the base of this one is made by Dream Vision Creations. Um, but what you do is it's in
Mm-hmm.
two pieces, as you can see, and then it has a hinge that's drilled into the top and the bottom part, connected
Oh.
here with some bolts and washers, or screws and washers, my bad. And then you connect it with some springs right here. So after you got that hinge open, it'll retract back and close
Oh,
on
nice.
itself.
So like if someone like ever wanted to do like the animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your jaw would fit around where the jaw is.
Right. Yeah. I've seen. Someone I knew long ago. They were in the midst of making a fursuit, and they're like, "Oh, that is. Oh."
It's not glued in. It's okay.
Oh, that yeah. See, like when you're that is pretty. Thank you for showing the demonstration, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Oh, someone just. Oh, oh. I keep on seeing someone, or is that with your shoe?
Huh?
I swear I saw someone in the background, real quick.
This is what you see.
Oh, kitty! What
This
is your
is
cat's name? What is your cat's name? Can you show your cat again? I'm always one for pet cameos.
this is Jasmine.
Oh, she's so precious.
She's
Oh.
like, "What are you doing? Let me go. Let me eat."
No, I'm always like the staple of this channel is always pet cameos, and it's always cats that have made the most appearance on this channel. So I'm always one for a pet cameo. Um, Now before we get into your cosplays that you've done, like so if someone wants to get a fursuit commission, whether it's just the basic head or the gloves or the tail, because from what I've seen, fursuits, even just the head itself, can be fairly expensive. What's for someone who does commissions for fursuits? What's like the charging price for like a standard fursuit? Whether it's just if they just want the head,
From me or from like how just
just
like in
just
general.
just in general, you know.
So that is a crazy range. It can go anywhere from I started making heads at $200. It can start anywhere from around there to I've seen heads go upwards of 7 grand a piece.
Yeah, I
They
mean, I
Yeah,
that's expensive.
it's a very very wide range.
I
It's a
mean, I've seen
company.
the fursuit heads where the eyes are LED, so like they can like open
Mhm.
and close.
Mhm.
I mean, that that does check out though. And I think people need to realize that these prices these people are asking aren't out of like a ridiculous. It's like
Mhm.
the time, the money, not
Mhm.
to mention the materials they need from said money that you're sending them because
Mhm.
not every commissioner is going to have the materials right away. So that's why
Mhm.
they're asking, you know, like $200, and that $200 goes to part of the materials
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
time and everything too.
Oh yeah. Materials are extremely expensive when it comes to fursuit making because it's people think it's basically just the fur and the foam, and no, that is not true. There's so many materials that go into fursuit making, and yeah,
The
it's
same
just
type of people who say that working in a fast food job is easy.
yeah.
It's not, from my experience. But $200, I mean, that's not bad. I'm sure, the more and plus the more detailed, the more it's going to cost too.
Hmm.
Because I imagine like adding in the moving jaw is going to cost extra because that's a whole other thing you're having to rig up,
Hmm.
and the
It's
measurements too.
yeah, measurements are definitely a thing, but yeah, I charge minimum of 400 now for my heads, just because yeah, it's I'm fairly busy. I like you said, the material costs, the time it takes, the time it took to learn to do the things. Um, and yeah, that's another thing about like commissioning people and for fursuits and artwork and stuff like that is you don't have to commission this person. So maybe don't complain about the prices.
No, there are other people, and I think that people also
Mhm.
need to know. For anyone out there listening, if you're like, a bigger person, whether you're tall or a little slightly bigger, and not poking fun at anyone's weight, it's gonna cost. It's gonna need more materials
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's definitely like, yeah, if you make a suit for somebody who's 5 foot versus somebody who's 6 foot,
No,
it's
I mean I'm 6'2", so I know right there. If I
yeah.
was to get one commissioned by anyone, it's like that's more materials because you're gonna need your height,
Hmm.
they're gonna need your measurements and everything.
Hmm.
What's your arm should cover, what's your head circumference, what's your leg, your belly, your butt or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like there's a lot. I'm sure you can attest to this. There's a lot that goes into making cosplays, not just like, oh, blah, 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 there.
Oh yeah.
You don't have a bunch of mice helping you make an outfit. You're like the materials.
Hmm.
What are your measurements? Do I need to get more fabric? Because that's going to cost more too. The more fabric, I think people need to realize that there's a lot that goes into making cosplays in general, especially if you're the one commissioning said cosplay.
Hmm. It's like something not too long ago that happened is there was a really pretty partial fursuit, so just the head, the paws, and tail,
Hmm.
and it went for sale for about 8 grand, and everybody was um just bitching about how expensive it was and like, you're never gonna sell it, that's way too expensive. And all
I know people who would be willing to buy that.
yeah, yeah. And all
They
I
may
could
have
think
to sac.
about
They may have to
was
sacrifice their brother and their right arm and left leg for it. But
yes. And but my main response was just like, is it too expensive for me? Yes, it is. Will I hound the artist for pricing their work at what it's worth? Hell no. It's there's always going to be somebody who's going to buy something. There's always going to be somebody who has a bigger budget than you do.
hmm
It's I'm not going to hound somebody for having a more expensive cost just because it's not the right
oh
price.
yeah, and there are some people, there are ex cosplayers who just do commissions now. Like
Mhm.
they may not want to cosplay anymore, but they are more than happy to either sell their old cosplays or make
Mhm.
said. And you'll see them at conventions. It's not just because they just the hobby is just it can get expensive. It can get fucking hectic. Excuse my language. I'm gonna have to bleep that are the previous one out. You are allowed to use the F words. Just know that the others will be bleeped out.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Good to know.
so another thing, finally, you've also been in cosplay contests. What is that like? Being entering a cosplay contest compared to just attending the con?
Entering a cosplay contest is it's very different. It's even though going to a con, you are kind of just like there showing your cosplay off and just having fun. Being in the cosplay contest itself is very you're very much on the spot. Everyone has their eyes on you, and it's very like it was definitely very nerve-wracking for me the first couple times I went into them. Um, but now like I do really enjoy it because it's like it makes me happy that everybody's like seeing all the work and time that I put into my cosplays and just if that makes sense. Like I just
Oh no, it makes perfect
yeah,
total sense.
it just makes me happy having other people appreciate my work.
Now, have you ever thought about have you thought about ever wanting to be like a cosplay contest judge or like or a special cosplay guest at a con?
I think that would be an absolute blast. I'm not sure how I would go about doing it, but I
I
think
I I can send you the details on that later.
okay, okay, I got you. But yeah, I think that'd be a ton of fun. I don't like I said, I'm not sure how to go about it, but I would have an absolute blast doing stuff like that.
Now, advice for someone who wants to enter their first cosplay contest, and also because I did talk about this in a previous panel a while back. Advice for someone who wins their first cosplay contest, and advice for someone who may lose their first cosplay contest. Because let's face it, you're never gonna win all of them.
Mhm.
You're definitely gonna lose some. You're definitely gonna lose a lot. But like, what's some advice you would want to give to someone who what should they do if they win their first one, and what they should do if they lose their first one?
So I have both lost and won cosplay contests, and it's I don't know how to describe it. It's so much fun just going into them in general. Winning them is exhilarating. It feels like, wow, all my hard work finally paid off. Um, and it's so much fun to seeing how much everybody appreciates you. But like you said, you're not always gonna win, and that's totally fine. It's okay. You're still showing off your work. It's I don't know how to describe it really.
No, I mean, just because you lost doesn't mean they didn't like your cosplay. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
there are people there. You got to remember that you're competing with other people who've worked their butts off
hmm
to, you know. And the one thing I will say I do like about about cons that do it. Not every con does it. How they have a non-made category like animate for the metal art do.
yeah. I
I
love that.
think that is the coolest thing ever. So that gives anyone a chance. For anyone watching, if you're attending Metallark or Anna Medford and you have a cosplay that you either didn't make or commissioned someone to make, there is a non-made category. So you know,
hmm And yeah,
which I think is like the coolest thing that they decided to add. It gets more people involved. I think.
I do really enjoy that because, like you said, one, it just it encourages other people to join. And two, I've known people in the past who have been really like saddened because like a
Per-
manufactured one that they
Personally,
just
I think more cons should implement that, like the smaller to medium-sized ones. But that's just my opinion.
I agree. No, I agree for sure. um, but yeah, like you said, just because you didn't win doesn't mean they didn't like your cosplay. Um, like that's honestly, I think that's my favorite part about going into there. Like it doesn't even like it makes me so happy to see whenever other people win as well. Just like because you can see those cosplays, and when you're in line with those people waiting to go up on
Hmm.
stage, actually being able to see all their detail and hard work
Oh
close.
yeah, no. For someone who's hosted and judged, it's always cool seeing them up close.
It is. It's so good, and I love just seeing the look on other people's faces when they finally when they win, when they get that
Oh
high.
yeah, oh yeah, no. And also, if you like don't win, it does not hurt to ask the judges on, what can you do to improve and stuff
hmm
like that, because there's always room for improvement when it comes
hmm
to not winning a cosplay contest. Even if you win, you know.
Always room.
Well, yeah, no, like the way I see it, kind of going off a little off topic here, but like in the original Dragon Ball during the World Martial Arts Tournament when Master Roshi, beat Kid Krillin and Kid Goku. The reason why he didn't want them to win is because if they saw that they win, it's like, oh well, they're the greatest, so they need to do it. But like he made sure that they lost so they can just continue to work harder. Plus they're young too, so like there's always room for improvement no matter your age. Like don't take just no, don't think that, oh, I won, well I don't need to compete anymore. I won. I mean it's like no, whether you win or lose, like just as long as you're having fun, I think that's what really matters. In my personal opinion, I've never entered a cosplay contest yet, but like from what I've seen when hosting and judging, these people are out here to show off their cosplays and have fun in life,
hmm No, I 100% agree. It's a very opinionated thing, but I do agree. I think just having fun is the best part about entering the cosplay contest. Just being yourself,
Oh
having
no,
fun with it.
wholeheartedly agree. Now we're about an hour, almost an hour into this. Time to talk about the cosplays that you've done. So, what is that one cosplay that you've not done in so long that you would like to bring back?
Jinx.
I mean, well, you mean you're, but oh no, like, oh yes, because you were talking about wanted to update them, especially with the newer season of Arcane. Not going to tell any spoilers here, but from
Yeah.
what I've seen, like the outfit definitely looks different and everything, and I'm just like, yeah,
hmm
no.
It's that, and I just want to remake it because even though it's pretty nice. But it is my first one, so there is still some things that I'd like to redo, even though most of the outfit is gonna look the same. Um, I just think it'd be fun to remake it and just make it a bit prettier, more accurate, more.
Do you wear like the bright pinkish purple contact lenses too?
So right now I'm wearing the blue ones, but
Oh, when she was still powder.
yeah.
Well, yeah, pre I mean, I know she goes by Jinx in season one, but like when you see the blue, that's
Yeah.
powder. But like when she has the pinkish purple eyes later, season one spoilers.
Mhm.
That's when I feel like she's truly Jinx,
Oh,
is
for
when she
sure.
has
Yeah.
the eyes.
Oh yeah, I do plan on getting some pink, purple, whatever you color you want to call it.
Magenta, I think. I think they're magenta. I don't know. I have to look that up because I'm kind of curious
Uh,
myself. Um, so now I gotta ask: do you ever plan on cosplaying as Kate or Vi from uh the show?
so I haven't planned on cosplaying either of them, but I have thought about cosplaying Victor before.
Ooh. Now,
Um,
are we talking about when he's before he does that experiment that just basically destroys his body in a sense in season one, or when he's like still has like the cane?
I think it'd be cool to have like near the end of season two. This is so hard to talk about without spoiling.
Oh, I've seen clips of it. I'm not going to spoil it. I know what version you're talking about and everything. That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool. Definitely some
Mhm.
body paint or something to
Mhm.
go into that.
I was thinking for
No, go
something.
ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, but I was thinking for similar to both Jinx and if I did do Victor, get some skin tight like close to my skin tone and just
Mm-hmm.
paint the tattoos on top or the for example for his hand and leg.
Mm-hmm.
Um because painting them on every time is a nightmare.
Oh, I know. Have like pre-painted stockings in a sense.
Yes, yes, yes. I think that would be
Okay.
perfect. He's my favorite character by far. Um
Vander's mine, aside from Heimendinger, but
this is a little guy.
I mean, if I could like get a suit made for him, I would just I would do it. But I know that's a very detailed. That just in itself is very detailed. Um, Now on to another one. What's a cosplay you've done that I like? I call them one and dones or cosplays that are just in the vault, never to be seen. But like you did it because you were curious about the character, or you did it because of a friend or a group asked you, "Hey, we need a so and so character. Can you, sure, let me just do my research real quick and see if I can't get that done in time for the group thing."
Uh Dobby from My Hero Academia. I believe that's how you say his name.
Yeah, it Dobby
Dobby.
with the
Yeah.
I've seen many of Dobby's over
Um
the years. So
yeah.
trust me.
It my friend was mind you, I've never seen the show. I've seen like
And that's there's nothing wrong with that. Just even if you just do a little bit of research, I
mhm.
think that's okay. Like you don't need to watch the show, but I feel like do your research, look up what the character looks like, go on
Mhm.
Wikipedia, learn a little bit about them. Like, okay, done. We
Yeah.
know what we need to do. Let's get this bitch done.
Yes, exactly. And that was one of those cosplays for me is I had a friend who was like, "Hey, you should totally cosplay him. I have the clothes. You should dress up as him." And I'm like, "Okay." So I did, and I don't have any pictures, I don't think.
That's
But
perfectly okay. I'll just put a picture of what Dobby looks like. Not because, yeah, no, that's, and there's nothing wrong with that, if you don't have pictures, because
mhm.
over the years, I've had people tell me, well, I don't have a picture of him, but because, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's perfectly okay. Like, I don't expect everyone to have a picture of every cosplay they've
Yeah.
done because, people are at cons, they don't have time to take pictures. So,
Mhm.
it's understandable.
But yeah,
Um,
he's probably the only one I can think about that I did that. Every other cosplay that I've done, they have had a return, except for Jinx. I mean, I don't, if you count this as a return, this is my first.
I would count that more as just something casual that you're doing for this.
Yeah, I mean, my last time I wore her was, uh,
Was it Metal Arc 2022?
yes, yes, it was.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember interviewing you and your friends
Hmm.
back then. Because they also had I can't remember their names, but they had their Jinx car.
Hmm. Yeah. It. Yeah, he was dressed up as Silco at the time.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. Now what is your favorite cosplays? I call them comfort cosplays. The cosplay you'll cosplay no matter the chance. Whether it's just you just want to you're at home and you just want to dress up as them, or you're at a con and like I want to just cosplay this one because It's easy, it's simple. I enjoy doing it, and I have fun in it.
Um, hmm. I enjoy doing all of them for different reasons. I feel like I don't know if you would count this as like a cosplay, but my main suit, Kaiju, the fursuit.
Oh, I would count that. I've seen like, how did you like make the skull part of that? Because I've been like wanting to ask that since since I started talking to you guys at con all like 2 years ago.
So that's a resin cast. It's yeah, it's resin casted off of a clay model.
Ooh.
But yeah, he would definitely have to be my main comfort cosplay, mainly because I've had that OC since middle school, and he's been a very like, not to sound like cheesy or anything, but like he is like kind of my escape for a while. He was like my comfort character. He was like my representation of me. I always drew him all the time. He's painted all over my room in all the different areas.
How
I
many
have
renditions has he gone through, cosplay wise?
cosplay wise probably about I would say probably four. Um, I've redone his head twice. I've remade his body 2.5 times. um, and then random things like paws, I've remade like 4 times. Tail, I've remade twice. Just stuff like that. Just he's had a lot of renditions and updates over time. But
Nice. Now, another question. Between Alistair and Blitzo, who has been your favorite body paint out of the two?
ooh, favorite to do?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I have a lot of fun with Blitz. He's I don't know why. I think it's just because of the drastic color change. With Alistair, I just do a white base.
Mm-hmm.
But with Blitz, it's that bright red.
Oh yeah, the bright red and the white to cover his, quote unquote burn scar that he got.
Mm-hmm. So I think he would be the most fun to do for sure.
Now, do you ever plan on cosplaying anyone else from the Hellaverse or the Hasbin verse?
I haven't thought about it. I mean, in the past, I've thought about cosplaying Lucifer, but
Ooh.
my friend who cosplays Lucifer,
They did a really good job, by the way.
yep, that's my friend Charlie. He's awesome at all of his cosplays. That was his first cosplay, by the way. Yeah, I don't know how they're so incredible at what they do, what they are. Um, but they're thinking about doing Alistair, and if that happens, I think it'd be
Ooh.
fun to do a swap.
Oh, you know who you can also do?
Hmm.
Fox.
Ooh, that would be pretty good. All of the
Uh,
characters are so cosplayable.
oh yeah, no, I mean, especially I mean, with everything we've seen so far and people waiting for season two of has been Hotel, the person who leaked that, by the way.
Real.
Um, I will say that with a strong F word.
No, real.
Um, future cosplays you are currently working on that you'll be doing for the 2025 year, and what is your all-time dream cosplay? Like, it's a character you've always wanted to cosplay, but right now it's not in the skill set or it's not in the budget.
Cosplays that I have in the future that I'm going to do pretty soon is Ellie Williams from The Last of Us.
Whenever whenever you do that, let me know because I still want to excuse to cosplay as wait, part one or part two, Ellie?
Part two, but I mean, whatever works.
I still want to want to cosplay as Joel because I have not brought Joel for a convention yet because I need to get a new shirt and I need to get a new beard and wig made.
But she's my one I'm most excited for. I have a cosplans list actually. Um, but Ellie Williams specifically from part two.
Are you looking
Um,
forward to season two on HBO Max coming out next year?
oh my god, I'm not ready. If you know, you
Uh,
know.
I know what they're knowing how they did phenomenal at season one. I'm like, I know how season two is they're gonna drag that scene out.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Oh, I know they're and I'm like,
I'm horrified.
damn it, Neil!
I'm so
Greg.
scared, but I'm so excited at the same time.
Oh, if anyone's played the game, and I still think it's a phenomenal game. Like
Mhm.
I also like the fact that they have photo mode, and I need to get a PS5 because I want to play the part one where part two's graphics.
Oh yeah, the part one remastered.
Yeah, the legit, not the 24, not the PS4 remastered, which is just basically an HD touch up of the
Mhm.
original. Like the full on like remastered part one with part two's graphics. Yeah, no.
Yes,
Ellie
and
would be pretty cool. And Ellie would be fairly simple. I think also you can use your actual hair because you both I think have dark brown
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
You just have to cut it and have it in the style of hers.
hmm Yeah, that's something that I'm really excited about is not having to wear a wig.
And are you gonna have the guitar too?
I might have the guitar. I know for her main weapons, I want to do the bow,
Well, yeah, no, the bow is probably my favorite weapon in the game.
and it helps because I have an actual bow.
Also,
So
if you need a backpack, because I have a backpack in the style of Joe's backpack, if you need to borrow one, let me know.
okay, awesome, thank you. But yeah, I think I was gonna do her bow, probably her Remington.
Ooh.
Um,
And then and then Joel's revolver.
yes. Oh, and her pocket knife,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, no. Are you
I
gonna have someone cosplay as Dina with you?
Wait, I didn't think about that. You're cooking. I need to have, I need to have one of my friends do Dina. You're so right.
No, I'm just saying. It's not Ellie without her. Don't know if you want to call it her girlfriend, her wife, partner, whatever.
Her love.
If you played part two, you know how that ends. Um, still waiting on a part three. Still waiting on a part three, Neil.
Real.
Kind of left us on a goddamn cliffhanger. But other cosplays that you plan on getting work doing in 2025.
I would like to do a rendition of Bill Cipher. I think would be a lot of fun.
Ooh, I've seen quite a few Bill Ciphers over the years, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. I still want to see someone wear a giant triangle Bill Cipher suit from the show.
That'd be great.
Don't know if it's doable, but I would like to see it.
I mean, somebody will figure it out at some point. If it hasn't been done, it will be done.
Oh yeah, no, but that'd be pretty cool to see Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. I mean, I've never fully
hmm
watched that show, but I have some favorite episodes.
hmm
The Minotaur episode is my favorite, just so you know. Um, Dream cosplay. What is that one cosplay you character you always wanted to do, but like I said, it's not in the skill set or it's not on the budget?
Dream cosplay. There's so many that
I guess like your top three.
I think my one of my characters is a protogen. And if you don't know what that is, it is a furry species, and they have basically their whole faces are and their like sides are LEDs.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah. And I think that would be so much fun, but for obvious reasons, that would be very expensive. And I would, if I didn't want to pay for somebody to make it, I need to learn how to code. And that's,
Oh, you're talking about like the ones like where the eyes like you can like have it connected to your phone or something. And they open and close.
so a lot of the time they do have that, but specifically it's their whole face is an LED. It's like a visor. Hold on, I
Oh,
can.
I've seen. I think I saw like a drawing or a sticker of one that looks like that. It's like they'll put in like the white parts of the visor and have like their eyes and like the teeth and everything.
Yes. I can show you one of my characters because I don't want to use somebody else's art.
Yeah, I want to. I'm
Um,
curious. Show the
uh,
audience and everything.
where did it go? Where did it go? I just had it. So this is fish. Um,
Oh, good. Oh
the,
yeah. See, that's the style I see.
yeah,
I think that's what I saw on your Instagram.
yeah. So, but yes, their entirety of their face is all a visor.
Yeah, I'm like I could like you'd have to like make the whole suit, but then like cut that part off to have the
Mm-hmm.
LED visor, which I know in itself is gonna have a lot of wiring. You gotta like make sure nothing gets short circuited. Like you're gonna have to like
Mm-hmm.
protect that part somehow and make
Mm-hmm.
sure it can also see. as well.
Yes. So that's definitely one. Other cosplays. I think Ida the Owl Lady would be so much fun.
Ooh. Are we talking about like just her regular look, or when she's like turning part owl?
I really like her harpy form when she's all red.
Hmm.
I do really like that version of her. She would be a ton of fun, but
That's just a lot of like feathers in general.
yeah, that's a lot. And then up for a third. Oh, there's so many. Oh, my Five Nights at Freddy's OC. Hazard.
Ooh.
I want to do like full like 3D printed like
Ooh.
stuff with actual like mechanics in the eyes and everything.
Oh,
I have
kind of like what they showed in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I
I mean,
actually have a book where I started to code how the eyes would work.
oh no, I have to give props to the Jim Henson Creature Shop to making the suits, and I do like the fact that Foxy is a full-on animatronic, not a suit like the others, full-on maneuverable puppet animatronic. Which again, the Jim Henson Creature Shop, the people who made those were fans of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's incredible the amount of work that goes into those dang costumes and the animatronics. Like you said, that Foxy was just an animatronic.
But yeah, no, and anyone who can make a full-on like maneuverable suit is, I have to give him props.
I have the coding in my Stolas grimoire,
Oh, nice.
but where is it? That was just like the beginning of me.
Oh, geez, yeah,
But
that's just a lot of numbers and letters. Oh my,
it,
I'm not gonna try to read that.
you're good.
For anyone,
And
pause if you want to read all that.
but just for the eyes moving and blinking. That's all for that.
Oh yeah, no, that I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and not to mention you're gonna like, I don't want to think about that. It sounds like a nightmare. So finally, on to my official favorite questions. If anyone's followed this show for as long as they have, you know the type of questions I'll be asking. So, to begin, what have you ever had any cosplay mishaps? Something ripped, torn, shattered, just anything that could go wrong, did go wrong, whether you were getting ready for the con or it happened at the con itself.
I think it's inevitable. Almost every one of my cosplays have done it, except for Jinx hasn't, and Blitzo was
Knock on wood.
knock on wood. But Alistair, I would say, has the most problems. If I don't, if any of you have seen me at a con, his first debut, he had hoofs
Oh yeah, I
instead.
remember you had hooves underneath the. I remember how you having to go to costume repair because they were like coming undone underneath your boots.
Yes, the rain con. um, they were made out of plaster, and because of that, partially the rain was like,
Mm. I don't think anyone was expecting it to fully rain, but again, it's May.
oh yeah,
May showers. You know.
but yeah, it was the rain made the plaster come undone, and they pretty much just crumbled, and those are very much no longer. Those those hooves are
Yeah,
destroyed.
because you had to redo them for Metal Arc, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm. Instead of hoofs, I just went to his normal. Um,
Like the red, like the tip part of the shoe was red and everything.
yeah, yeah, we just did that for now. But there was that. His I've lost some of his claws before at cons. Luckily, I had spares that I had made.
Do you know what?
I've
Like, do you have them like glued onto the glove, or
So I did have it glued on, but they would fall out. And with his gloves, there's like there's holes in them, and so what I did is I ended up sewing them in as well.
oh, that's pretty
So
clever.
yeah, so that won't happen anymore. But part of his staff has broken off because it's 3D printed. Um,
I think you said you like, yeah, it was a broom handle. I think it
yeah,
was.
the main stick part is a broom handle, yeah, that I just spray painted and sanded down. But yeah, I think it's mainly Alistair and my fursuits. that have had problems.
Have you ever had to deal with con crunch before at all with your cosplays?
Yes, absolutely.
What
I
was like the top con crunch cosplay? Because let's face it, no one ever really wants to admit it. I don't blame them, but I feel like every once in a while someone does have a con crunch cosplay.
I made Alistair like 4 days before the con,
Wow.
and he was made from scratch. So
Just,
yeah, that was a nightmare. Very do not do as I do, but very many sleepless nights.
do as I
Please,
say, not as I do. As I say, not as I do.
literally, literally.
Words to live by for any cosplayer who's been on here in the past 3 years.
Yes. But please sleep. I did not.
For shame.
I'm sorry.
Now another question, and this is probably my all-time favorite. Have you ever had any WTF convention moments from? Did that actually just happen to like? Yeah, I just need to get out of here. You're kind of creeping me out, my dude.
Yes. At Metford Comic Con. Um, I had stalkers. I had two random guys that I have never talked to in my life. And I was taking a break, so I was out away from everybody. I was sitting down on a little ledge that they had on the inside, and there was probably about this much space between the actual edge of it before it hit the ground, and on
Hmm.
the side to the right, it was like probably about 100 feet. So they had plenty of room to sit over there if they wanted to. But of
Hmm.
course, they decided to sit in the little space, of course, as people do, I guess.
Like you
And
do.
and they were like talking to each other and they kept looking at me, but they weren't speaking in a language that I understood.
Mm.
And I just like kept like trying to like just ignore them.
Mm.
Um and I don't know how to say this without like sounding like um I'm sure you can probably cut it out if it's too bad. But my mother has a fursuit and she was with me and it has horns and they proceeded to the horn.
Oh, come the fuck on.
And I was just like, no, no. And then
First,
so
it sounds like they didn't ask, for one. Two, this is Medford we're talking about, so you got some weird, crazy people and to begin with.
yeah,
Also, I say this every time, cosplay does not equal consent!
literally. Oh my gosh. It's, and it doesn't help that like this wouldn't have been okay and even in a normal sense, but it makes me even more upset the fact that we were like out away very clearly taking a break. It's like I don't after that we ended up like getting up and leaving and they left us alone for a bit. But they'd pop up every once in a while. But I heard later on that they ended up getting kicked out for harassment of other people.
Oh,
So
cons don't not take that shit lightly. Like if
yeah.
they see people harassing other people or disturbing people, he'll actually gonna get kicked out. I
Mhm.
highly commend when con staff and security do not take that shit lightly.
Oh yeah, for sure. It. I am really happy that they got kicked out.
No,
I
no,
feel really bad
I'm
for
happy. I'm glad that they, you know,
yeah. I feel bad for the other people or for
it
however.
just doesn't help that when you have a con that's in a public space that you'll get all types of creepers. I'm sorry, I use that
Yeah.
word strongly.
No, no.
But when your con's out in a public space, expect some odd shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've had I think I've had my most uncomfortable situations in my Alistair. Um mainly um at oh my goodness, sorry, Rogue Comic Con. A plethora of kids went up to me and it's like okay,
They
whatever.
were
Yeah, I'll
they.
get it.
Let me guess. They recognized your cosplay.
Yes.
Oh god damn it.
And it's like if
Parents
you
out there, if your kids are that age, it sounds like they were under the age of 18.
oh no, they were probably about 10. Yeah.
Oh good god.
And I had probably at least like 13 kids around the age of like I think the youngest he looked like he was 7. Like
I remember seeing that vaguely before I left.
it's oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I was exposed to like South Park at that age, but you don't see me going around,
Mhm.
oh god, like you don't. Well, cons weren't really that well known back then when I was that age, but like it's just I will say this, and I'm sorry to sound like those types, but like you really need to be careful. You really need to restrict what your kids are watching because the internet exposed to so much stuff, knowing that these kids have like some, like not all kids, just some, are exposed to this. They see this stuff on the internet, and then they watch, and the next thing you know, they go to a con and they see someone like Junko Inoshima
Mm,
or someone cosplaying as um freaking Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners or Luna or some clearly an 18 plus show or video game, and you see these little kids, and there's like, where's your mother? Where's your parent or legal guardian? I feel very uncomfortable seeing little kids recognize these 18 plus characters. It's we don't like this. That thing that happened to one guest at a con for what one underage. I'm not gonna say the full thing, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But like, oh, it's just scary that these kids are watching these shows, and then when they go to cons, they see these 18 plus characters that they recognize, and it just like it can make anyone uncomfortable. But like, you have to be
mhm.
like very respectful and mindful and not say the wrong thing, because then that just causes the whole freaking
Yeah, it's
chaos itself.
at the most recent con, that, we both attended, on the first day, how when I was Alistair, my friend went as, Lucifer, and we were both just doing a duo, and there was a little kid, probably, like I said, 7, maybe 8,
Ugh.
and he came up to me, and he asked me and my friend to recreate a very not okay scene, and I was I just, stared at this kid, and I was like, and his
Just
dad comes around the corner with another kid in a stroller, and his dad has no idea. His dad probably has no idea what this show even is. He probably just thinks his kid's like, "Oh, look, he's enjoying something from something he knows." I don't
probably
know.
because the dad's not monitoring what his kid's watching.
And I was just like, I look over at my friend because I'm like, I don't want to just straight up tell this kid, hell no, in front of his dad because his dad doesn't know. And
Mm.
so I turned to my friend and I was like, let me ask my friend. And then and I turned around, I'm
Just
like,
get the out of there.
yeah. And I was like,
That's all you really can do, is like just be nice and just bolt as soon as you can.
yeah. I'm just like,
Um.
and
Oh
then we just
God,
kind of walked away.
I'm so
I
sorry
had
that's happened.
I had a lot of kids flirting with me. It was really uncomfortable.
Oh God.
And
Oh, to quote that one hell of a lot short. Oh, you're one of those.
oh, you're one of those.
I'm
It
not
was
gonna finish the rest of that, but if you've seen that short with that one character, you know.
oh yeah. And they were all very clearly middle schoolers and they kept it was this yucky, icky.
like you felt like you violated how to take a cold shower, basically.
Literally, the rain was not enough.
Oh, oh God, I'm so sorry. Now moving on. Favorite convention moment, like to this day, is always like it's the one thing you enjoyed the most at a con, whether it's just the con itself or you got to meet a celebrity guest that you always wanted to meet and you got to get a picture or whatever with them.
Um, so a handful of my favorites would have to be meeting some of my online friends, for sure. Um, which I did at BLFC. Some that I thought was absolutely crazy was also at BLFC. Is I've been recognized.
Well, you get some recognition in the community. Nice.
Yeah, and that was crazy for me. And it
It's
wasn't
definitely a different experience, huh?
yeah, and it's um it's my following is like it's it's big for me.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, trust me. To others, it may not seem, but like when you see that, like,
mhm,
oh, and you go to events like, oh, hi, I don't know who you are, but
mhm.
like, thank you for recognizing me. Thank you for subscribing to the channel or following me
Literally,
online.
I have 500 followers on Instagram, which is where I'm most
Nice.
active, and it surprises me that out of those 500 people that there was somebody out of those thousands and thousands of people that attended that con and they recognized me. It was baffling. It wasn't even that they were just like, "Oh, hey, I recognize you." They pulled out my usernames. They're like, "Hey, are you Kaiju Commissions?" And I'm like,
Oh, man, were you cosplaying as Kaiju?
"Yeah, I was in my suit." Yeah.
So that's probably why they recognized that
Mhm.
unique suit. Is how they probably
Mhm.
recognized you.
Mhm. And it was that was in 2021, I got recognized at that con twice, and at this one I got recognized once, and it was insane. It was just like
So basically, the more you go, the more potentially you'll get recognized. Nice.
it's baffling. It made me feel so good though that like my name and my work is just getting out there. That
No,
it's
that's always a good thing. As I say, it's always good to have connections and everything, but do not abuse it. For someone who's been in this line of work for 3 years, it's good to have the connections. It's good to build on those connections, but do
Mhm.
not abuse it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But it just made me feel good, and I ended up becoming close friends with those people since then. So
Nice.
yeah.
So let's see. Finally, now, any last minute advice you want to throw out there to those who are listening and are watching this?
Cosplays for anyone. Don't listen to what other people have to say. Be yourself. Don't let other people bring you down. Just have fun, be respectful, do what you want to do. That's that's the gist of it.
Oh no, I totally believe in that. I think that should do it. Oh yeah, real quick, where can people find you on social media if they want to stay up to date with your cosplays or potentially get something commissioned or see you at the next BF is it BFLC?
BLFC.
B
Your-
if or they want to see you at the next BLFC.
Mhm. So Instagram is kaiju underscore commission 611. That is also my TikTok and um my my Twitter is Kaiju's Owo, which is my NSFW artwork. So I'm looking for your age in your bio. You
Yeah, no, please, if you don't have your age in your bio, do not follow. It's a rule
mhm,
I have myself. You got to be
yeah,
18 or older, just more for safety issues
mhm,
for both me and you.
exactly.
Or if you are underage, please have a parent or legal guardian present in said
Yes.
video. Got to protect yourself because, especially with how some of these how so certain content creators have been. I'm not going to say any names, but
But yeah, those are my main socials. So
and looking forward to seeing you next year at the three local cons down here.
I'm so
Hopefully,
excited.
you get the chance to go to more. If you get the chance, highly recommend going to KamoriCon if you ever get the chance in Portland.
For sure. It's on the list for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely worth it from when I went. But yeah, again, Kai, thank you for coming on. Looking forward
Thank
to
you for
seeing more
having
of your
me.
cosplays and the convention stuff. And yeah, and as always, I am Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.